past 10 years, everything paranormal has captured the attention of many people, invaded TV, radio, the books we read, and even in the news. And the popularity seems to keep growing, no longer kept hidden and talked about in hushed voices. Now people are talking around the proverbial water cooler with incidents that happened years ago or just yesterday. Seems many are curious and anxious to tell stories about their own brush with the supernatural. My name is Jackie Meador. I'm Director of Central California Paranormal Investigators, and this is my co-host, sensitive healer and Reiki Master of Casa del Curandero and partner, Krista Erickson.
Together we are going to be talking about things that go bump in the night and even during the day. We are going to take you to places that some say are haunted, meet those who hunt for ghosts, venture into the wilderness in search of Bigfoot, watch the skies for UFOs, discover metaphysical mysteries, and investigate urban legends. Those who are on a journey and committed to researching all manner of the paranormal. We hope you enjoy our special guests and discussions on various paranormal topics. You are watching Paranormal Journeys.
Welcome to our show. I'm really glad you all can join us. We're going to have some fun tonight, maybe something a little different, maybe certainly a little strange for some, but sit back, put your feet up, relax with a bowl of popcorn, and enjoy the show.
So let's start with some top stories in the news and or trending on Facebook. All paranormal related, of course. So up first, how about a sighting of a legendary creature that is now not so mythical?
That's right.
Vietnamese legend tells a story of a huge golden turtle that helped the country fight off Chinese invaders in the 16th century. Rumors about this giant mythical creature, which supposedly lived in the deep waters of a northern Vietnam lake, bestowed a magical sword to Vietnamese town folks, and victory was won over the war against China. So after the victory, the giant golden turtle is said to have resurfaced and reclaimed the sword from the emperor. As the keeper of the sword, the danger threatens the country. When danger threatens the country,
Correct.
excuse me, the keeper of the sword will surface bearing the sword on top of its shell. So, well, now the legendary turtle of Vietnam may prove to be true.
That's right. That's right. They found the last surviving golden turtle. And this puppy was huge.
Huge.
400 pounds.
400 pounds. This thing is huge.
And 6 feet wide?
No, 6 feet long,
6 feet
4
long.
feet wide.
Okay.
So
yeah,
imagine a 400-pound, 6-foot-long turtle.
Well, and what's interesting is that we talked about urban legends with our friend Reyes.
Yes.
And
yes.
I mean, this is definitely an urban legend, but there were no surviving golden turtles left, so they thought.
Right.
So it was relegated to a kind of a mythical status. And there was this story that there we have a picture, and there was a story that the Vietnamese people were at war with China. This golden turtle came in bearing a sword on his back. They conquered the Chinese, and the rest is history. But it's amazing that this story goes back. I mean, we're talking 1,000 years.
Exactly. It's almost like talking about the Loch Ness monster, and all of a sudden it shows up one day.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the equivalent of what has happened here. And they found the turtle in Vietnam's Hoan Kiem Lake, which is in the northern Thanh Hoa province.
It's in Hanoi, actually. The lake sits in almost the middle of Hanoi. And,
which is like the sacred temple.
Yeah.
It's
a beautiful, beautiful lake.
And to find it there, of all places, to find it in the lake that surrounds this ancient temple.
Right.
And
well,
how cool.
I guess it was what zoo, Metro Park Zoo, I think in Cleveland.
Yes.
They were hearing these stories from the people there, and they'd been talking about it, but nobody had ever really seen it. And I guess it finally surfaced. And because it was actually ill, because the lake is so polluted that it was actually dying. So they've gone in, they've rescued it, and now they're trying to save it and be able to hopefully clean up the lake, put him back in the lake.
Right. And hopefully, I mean, as of this point, it's the last known survivor of its species, but it's been hiding for so long. For all we know, there could be more of these turtles in the lake. Maybe they're just healthy enough they haven't had to surface. But I mean, either way, this is really like an astonishing feat. I mean, to discover this mythical creature. It's like finding a unicorn.
Look at the look at the possibilities. I mean, who's to say we won't find a unicorn somewhere in the remote forests of Mongolia or someplace?
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So they've the scientists have identified the rare giant turtle as Rhaptus swinhoei. That's the scientific name that they've given it. And the rare turtle, like we said, it's believed to be the last of its kind. It's described as a soft-shelled turtle, so it's not a hard shell, but a soft-shelled turtle with a pretty distinctive head. And again, this thing is just massive.
Yeah.
Just unbelievably massive. And what a find.
Yeah.
So, legends, myths, tall tales. They may be true. This is one of those mythical species that people have always talked about, but no one has ever, well, they've never seen it. They've never, and here it is. So everything is possible.
Yeah. Well, and that's thanks to Richard Sennett. He posted that story. So I did a little research, and yeah, we were able to bring that to you. But yeah, the golden turtle of Vietnam still lives.
Still lives.
Okay.
All right.
And we're moving on. Okay. This next story is well, it's just not weird. I thought it was kind of weird at first, but then I guess it's not weird.
I'm really excited about this story. I want to go on a field trip.
Yeah. There are many people who love to stay in haunted hotels, including yours truly. Well, what if I was to tell you that one of the most haunted places in America will now give you the chance to spend the night and you get breakfast in the morning? A place that was once home for dying tubercular, did I say that right? Tuberculosis patients, and now, I spelled it wrong, and now popular among the ghost hunting set, may become more than a haunted hospital sometime in the near future. The owners of the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky, filed a plan to convert the former hospital into a hotel, and all they needed was the city council to approve the zoning change. Well, it looks like it's a go. The council voted 21-0 in favor of the zoning change. The Waverly Hills Sanatorium Hospital was opened from 1910 to 1962. It later reopened as a nursing home, but it finally closed in 1982. Over the years, some of the property's owners have proposed to turn the building into many things, including a prison with a 150-foot statue of Jesus. Okay. The Mattingleys purchased the hospital and the 29-acre property for $230,000 in 2001.
That's a steal.
And in 2012, purchased an additional acreage for $800,000. $800,000. That's a lot of money.
Well, that bought 80 acres.
80 extra acres.
Yep,
okay.
80 extra acres.
They have been conducting ghost tours in the former tuberculosis hospital, and they estimate that about 10,000 people come on their tours every year. The revenue from the tours is used to renovate the building and the surrounding property. The Mattingleys say that they will continue to host paranormal enthusiasts when the building becomes a hotel.
Let's go.
I'm ready for a road trip. I am so ready for a road trip. I don't know if I could wait that long, but you know, whatever. I mean, we could do a show there. That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be?
That'd be fun. Would that be fun, Steve?
Steve just said it would be awesome.
I mean, I don't know. We'd have to drive, but that's a long way to drive to Kentucky.
Why can't we fly?
Just taking the equipment.
Yeah.
That would be the thing.
What like a dream, though.
Okay, we could get a huge bus or a van or something.
Hey, there we go, road trip.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind spending the night there. I wouldn't mind spending the night.
Well, in the Waverly Sanitarium, I mean, that has been the inspiration for so many horror movies and books. I mean, it's like the haunted sanitarium.
Well,
is it a tarium or torium?
Well,
torium.
You know, I looked at that. It said sanatorium several times.
Sanatorium.
Yeah. I think it's one of the top 5 most haunted places in America.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And how awesome to be able to just to sleep there at night, you know, to go do your investigation in one part of the hospital, and then just, you know, go to bed. I don't know if I'd sleep.
And we got to do that at Preston Castle here a few years ago, which was now they don't let you do that. But
I know.
yeah, we got to do that our first trip there. It was nice.
It really makes a difference when you can stay at the place you're investigating.
Does make a
it's
difference.
Huge. And plus you get the experience of actually being there the whole time.
Well, and then when you hear stuff at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, you got to decide: do I really want to get up? Do I really want to get up and investigate this? I am so tired.
Do I really want to go troll the hallways in my slippers and pajamas?
Do I roll over and go back to sleep? Yeah. That's hard.
That's when you sleep with your voice recorder right next to your bed. You got your EMF detector on the other side.
Yeah, I know.
There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that's amazing. I cannot wait for it to be finished. And to have a 21-0 vote for it, I mean, the community is behind this.
Definitely in support, yeah.
And I really admire that, because anybody, local here to the Fresno Clovis area, we know that we don't have that kind of support for our haunted places.
That's right. And you're right. We
don't. I mean, we have a very haunted place that is probably going to be torn down because we can't get city council to approve for repairs. But so I think that it's that says a lot, just that the city council had a 100% backing behind it. So that's amazing. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm happy for them. And we'll definitely take a trip.
And I kind of hope they only redo part of it and they leave the rest.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
As is, so you have a part that's suitable to stay, but the rest is how it always has been. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it's actually a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, the place is big enough. This place is, how big is it? It's got a 150-foot statue of Jesus. I mean.
Don't go there. For more information on the Waverly Hills Sanatorium and for tour prices, visit their website, www.therealwaverlyhills.com, and we'll put it on the screen for everybody.
All right, so we're going to move on.
Yes.
This one has been floating around Facebook for a few weeks now. Mitch Glover, he is a 14-year-old boy from Leamington Spa. He was visiting the Neuville Saint Vaast German War Cemetery in northern France, and as part of a school lesson on the poetry of the Great War. Now, the cemetery was once the scene of bloodshed and combat in World War I and has over 44,000 graves. Well, he captured a little something more than just a picturesque photograph of the French countryside. This is really awesome. So let's take a look. This is the photograph that Mitch Glover took while visiting the cemetery. Here we go. It wasn't until returning home and looking at his phone's photos that Mitch noticed the creepy image. The ghost in the picture seems to be wearing the uniform of a Seaforth Highlander regiment. 12 known Highlanders are buried nearby, so we know that there's 12 graves nearby. So here's a close-up of the image in Mitch's photograph. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Okay,
I did enhance it a little bit, and contrasted it so that it would be more prominent. But yeah, that's it. And then you see the comparison picture of the men of the regiment actually in uniform.
The Seaforth Highlander Regiment.
How close that is.
Exactly. It's just amazing. So whether or not you believe in ghosts, Mitch's photograph is really compelling. I mean, this is. And he's a 14-year-old kid on a school field trip. And here's what I like about this picture is that the ghost is only barely clear enough to make out. Because sometimes you get these pictures that are just too good to be true.
Yeah.
This one is actually believable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very skeptical when I look at ghost pictures because there's so many phone apps that automatically put anomalies in. It's just ridiculous. But this one, I don't know. There's just something about this one.
Yeah, no, it's just this one rang true with me, and I think we learned a good lesson. We were talking with John on Mantra Freitas. You have to go with your gut. You know, if you feel it's really it's real, then whatever your gut feels, your intuition. And if you feel it's a hoax, whatever. But I think I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. I think this one's real.
I'm gonna call it real. Me too.
And I did a little research, and I looked up the Highlanders, and I looked up their uniforms over the past 100, 200, 300 years, and this definitely is so close, and you can tell by the pictures.
Yeah, absolutely, you can even see like the kilt.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's amazing. This is one.
The comparison is it's too uncanny.
Yeah, I agree. I love this one. This is probably one of my favorite quote unquote ghost pictures.
And I did try to find a picture that was like our little ghost, kind of picture that maybe somebody copied and it's superimposed.
Right.
And I couldn't find one.
Oh, good.
And I did look. I looked for about a week. I looked. So.
See, and another thing is a lot of times you get people that are, they take pictures in the cemetery. It's like, well, what are you doing taking pictures in the cemetery?
Yeah.
At least this kid has a valid reason, He wasn't looking for ghosts.
No, he wasn't.
Right.
But there is one thing that bothers me. The first picture we saw of the cemetery, the kind of the landscape, was in color. This one is not. So why?
I didn't even notice.
If you look, the first picture that we showed was in color.
Yeah.
And then this second picture where he showed the ghost and had that red circle around it, that one was in black and white.
Well, I wonder if they put it in black and white to help see the shading difference, maybe to help clarify the photo a little bit.
I don't know.
I mean, because I've done that with my own photos, because sometimes if you switch it to black and white, it just stands out more. It's easier to see.
And you're right, and that's why I like working with black and white.
Yeah.
But it was just struck me as odd why he would do that, because he took all the pictures that we saw. He took all those pictures.
Yeah.
So why would he switch from? And it's on his phone camera, which makes me a little nervous anyway.
Well, but you can transfer that to the computer and put it through.
Yeah, but why would you do a black and white from a? I don't know. It just it's one of those yellow flags.
I still like it.
I still like it too. I still like it. I still like it too. So okay, whether you or not you believe in ghosts, Mitch's photography is pretty compelling.
It is.
Just except for the things that Krista and I were talking about. It is. It has my interest up, and I don't get really interested that much.
I'm the same way. I'm like, this is BS.
I'm a little skeptical. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I guess it's me the next story.
You're next.
Okay. A little more than 6 miles off the coast of Point Dume in Malibu, California, an unusual-looking structure that sits on the seabed floor. What is it? Based on images obtained on Google Earth, the oval-shaped object has a huge flat top and what appears to be pillars or columns that seem to reveal the entrance to a darker inner place. Speculation about the true identity of this object runs from a natural geological fault line formation to an underwater alien UFO base. These images show the object from different angles along the California coast, approximately 2,000 feet below the surface of the water and measuring 3 miles wide. Some believe this may be the holy grail of UFO, USO, unidentified submerged objects that researchers have been looking for over the last 40 years. Using Google Earth coordinates, there are a series of images looking north, south, and from above that you can view on a link. We will post for you for those that want to take a look. As unusual as this anomaly appears, is alien UFO base the only realistic explanation? Some believe it's a natural part of the continental shelf that has seen some erosion, or since this is a major earthquake area, it may be a result of slope failure due to shaking. There's no flag under the water that says, "Hello, I'm here. I'm the entrance to an alien base." Okay. In a research paper by the Geological Society of America in 2009, it showed cross sections of the area designated as Sycamore Knoll by those who have actually studied the underwater region. In the end, we're left with a variety of theories to explain the Malibu anomaly, aka Sycamore Knoll. Will the UFO alien underwater base proponents be eventually proven right, leaving geologists in the deep blue dust, scratching their heads and wondering how they got it wrong? It's still possible that this object could be an entrance of sorts, in the same way that the action of moving water can form caves below the surface. Of course, until you get down there, you don't know where the entrance is leading. And that's the key.
Right.
Nobody's been there.
Why hasn't anybody been there? This is always my question. Like, we know it. Does somebody get in a dive suit and go down there?
They've known about this thing since 2009.
Yeah.
Why?
It's been 5 years.
Hasn't anybody been down there to settle the matter once and for all? I don't get it.
If I wasn't scared of sharks, I would go down there.
Oh, you'd rather glow in the dark, but you're afraid of sharks.
Well, you know.
Well, I don't think you have to worry there. It's right off the coastline. I don't think you have to worry there.
Oh, I worry everywhere when it comes to sharks.
Yeah, that's all. It amused me why they've known about it since 2009, and they haven't sent cameras down there. They haven't sent anybody down there I mean, we're talking, they have deep diving suits.
Right.
I mean, it's not unheard
Well,
of.
and like you just said, even a camera.
Yeah.
You know, throw a camera in the water and see what happens, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, they have ROVs that are easily reach that depth. What was the depth?
2,000 feet.
Yeah, they can go down 2,000 feet. They can go down a couple miles. So, I mean, why not? You're right. Why hasn't anybody
Which is a
checked this
mystery.
out?
Which that in itself is the mystery. Okay, why has nobody been down there to check it out since 2009?
Now,
Unless they haven't, they're not telling.
well, that's very true. That's
But
possible.
I mean, I tend to think it's a. I mean, it really looks. I mean, if you go online and you look, and we're going to send you the link. You can go on and look at these Google images. But if you go online and look at these things, and you see that a UFO base wouldn't necessarily be that far off.
Right.
Apparently there has been a lot of activity between Catalina and the Southern California coastline.
And Malibu's right there.
A lot of UFO activity back and forth. So if it is a UFO base, and that proves out to be true, then there would be a reason for that.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, there's a hot spot for activity right there. And if now let's say that these aren't UFOs from outer space. Let's just say they're unidentified objects that the U.S. government owns and hasn't talked to us about.
You know, that's a possibility.
You know, I mean, who knows? In a case like this,
That's a
it could be anything. It could be an underwater Air Force base or an underwater naval base or whatever. But I don't think
A secret.
A secret. It's the new Area 51.
It's the new Area 51.
It's Area 52. But yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to just kind of to keeping up on it and seeing if anybody
like
goes
I said,
down
they've known about it since 2009.
Yeah.
And they've done nothing. They've written a paper on it. Hello.
Well, maybe they're trying to get funding. They need to start a Kickstarter.
Okay.
I'd donate.
Whatever.
All right. Well, let's continue on this
right.
UFO topic here. I have another one. So based on the classic work of UFO literature by Carlos Guzman and Alfonso Salazar, this revised, updated English translation contains detailed information on all significant UFO encounters in Mexican airspace over the last 50-plus years. In an amazing audio recording made by Mexico City air traffic controllers, pilot Carlos de los Santos is heard screaming into his headset, "Mayday, Mayday, my plane is surrounded by UFOs and my instruments do not work." How do you get any more clear-cut than that, right?
Really.
So pilot Rafael Pacheco, whose small plane encountered a UFO and became caught in some kind of tractor beam, during which witnesses say the pilot received a telepathic message from an extraterrestrial, which was also heard over the aircraft's radio, which I'm going to stop here for a second because that part confuses me. If it was telepathic, how could they hear it on the radio too? But anyway, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Authors Guzman and Salazar are two of Mexico's most experienced and highly regarded UFO researchers. For decades, they have quietly conducted exhaustive research into their country's most remarkable UFO cases, including aviation. Guzman and Salazar are well known throughout the world for their careful and well-documented investigations into Mexican UFO cases throughout history. World-renowned ufologist Jacques Vallée said, "This is a serious compilation of many cases of pilot sightings detailing unusual aerial phenomenon in the Mexico skies." The study covers 50 years of incidents, many with radar confirmation and quotes from the pilots themselves. The volume is written in a clear, sober style that gives priority to the witnesses with little editorial commentary from the authors themselves. Now, this new English edition was prepared by authors Noe Torres of Texas and our friend Ruben Uriarte of California, who we just had on here a few months ago. And they both themselves have written a number of books about historic UFO cases. And this is not simply a case of translating the original work, Torres says. With cooperation from the authors, they make it more relevant to the persons who are not familiar with Mexico's history, geography, and culture. So basically, they took this book and they made it more relatable to the American population.
Right, they updated
it, yeah. And plus, the original book only covered cases through the year 2000.
Right.
And they went into more detail and added more recent cases.
Yeah, they did more research.
Yeah, they did more research. So the actual book itself is called UFOs Over Mexico, Encounters with Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. It retails for $14.95, excuse me, and is available for purchase in paperback. There's a website at roswellbooks.com. We'll have the link up. So we had Ruben on here a few months ago, and it was just absolutely amazing the amount of research that him and Noe, they work together quite a bit. And it's just amazing what they put in, and this new book is just, I cannot wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Like I said, they updated a lot, added more research that they had done, and more stuff. And we know our episode with Ruben, I mean, we had to divide into 2 parts because there was so much that we had to do a 2-parter.
And we didn't even talk about this.
No, we didn't.
But I mean, how amazing that you have a pilot screaming into his headset, "I'm surrounded by UFOs." I mean,
well, and the part about the telepath thing, it would be like, I guess, like recording an EVP.
Okay.
Yeah, or electronic voice.
And that's kind of what I figured too. Yeah. It was just the first time I read it, it threw me off, and I was like, "Wait a minute." But that's kind of the conclusion I came to, is that it was like an EVP almost. You know, you have all the airways going.
Yeah, the extraterrestrial's not in the cockpit with him.
Right.
But it's sending him a message telepathically, mentally, and they're picking it up on, I guess,
through the radio waves.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I imagine as he was talking, they're sending, and they're picking it up through the what do they call that thing?
I don't know.
Not the microphone.
The receiver?
What do they call that thing that they hold and talk into?
I have no idea.
We got to cut this part out.
An intercom? I don't know. Is it an intercom?
Okay.
All right. But anyway, it's going to be a great book. I've read a couple of their books now, and it's just, I get more and more intrigued every time. I was never a huge UFO person. I always believed in UFOs, don't get me wrong, but I was never like a huge, real fanatic about it until we had Ruben, and then I'm just...
Yeah, me either. I was fascinated. I was fascinated. I watch every UFO movie on TV. I'm fascinated, and I, like you, I believe, but I never really investigated it, never really looked into it.
Exactly, and now the way that they write, it's so relatable. It's really easy to get into it and really understand all the technical terms behind it, because there are some technical terms. We're talking about aircraft and but it's good. Highly recommended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next.
Oh, okay. Yes. Our next story. This is Krista's been waiting to have this story on. We're finally able to bring it to you all. And I'm going to let you imagine that you lived on an island and saw a little girl drown, and then her ghost began haunting the place. What would you do? Well, for one man, he built a tribute, not only to appease the spirit, but for protection as well. And please be advised that some of the photos that we're going to be showing you are disturbing. So just be aware of that. You see them in the trees, on the ground, bunched together on fence posts and hanging from clotheslines like laundry left to dry. Their dead eyes stare at you from half-empty sockets. Their dirty hair hangs like cobwebs. Their skin is peeling away. Plump limbs are scattered everywhere, and decapitated heads impaled on stakes. Again, please be advised, some of these photos may be disturbing to some viewers. But this is not a nightmare. It's La Isla de los Muñecos, Island of the Dolls. And guess what? We have someone here with us who has been there. Krista?
I have been there, and it is as creepy as it sounds.
I'm so jealous. I am so jealous.
And it's so funny because I spent a couple weeks in Mexico as a study abroad program for my archaeological studies.
Yeah.
And we were on the Chinampas, and we happened to go to las Islas de la Muñecas.
You did mess it up, didn't you?
Told you I would. That's all right. I don't care. But it was so cool to see it in person. I have my own personal photographs from it. So this is actually located in Xochimilco, which is a southern borough of Mexico City, on a man-made island that for decades has been home to hundreds of these dilapidated dolls. The island was owned by farmer Don Julian Santana, who started his doll collection in the 1950s because he was terrified and wanted to protect himself from the little girl's ghost. So he was collecting them from the trash and hung them around the island like creepy Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
And for over half a century, he collected more than 1,500 of these little horrible dolls. Santana has since passed on, but his cousin, Anastasio, now lives on the island, running it as a tourist attraction. He says that the spirit of the little girl is still here. It's important not to remove the dolls because at night they come alive.
That's creepy.
He says that they will move their heads and whisper to each other. It is very spooky, but I have gotten used to it. This is a quote from Anastasio. So Xochimilco is best known for its chinampas, which are artificial islands created by the Aztecs to serve as floating gardens where food was grown for the ancient city of Tenochtitlan. Tourists now flock to the islands using gondolas to traverse the waters via canals, eating, drinking, listening to mariachi music along the way. It was great. I did all of that. From the docks where the gondolas embark to the island, there are numerous crosses and plaques dedicated to La Llorona, the weeping woman.
We know who she is.
Yes, we do. And you guys do too if you've been watching with Reyes. And when the island is covered in fog, many claim that the weeping woman haunts the area, crying for her children. So ghosts are very real, Anastasio says. Some of them are old, like La Llorona, others more recent. It's important to pay tribute to them. Now, only about 60 years old and considered young by legend standards, imagine 50 or 100 years from now, what will it be then? There's already like 1,500.
Well, it's an urban legend in the making.
It is. It is. It is an urban legend in the making.
I mean, look how long these chinampas have lasted.
You know, and the history of that is really fascinating too. I mean,
so
Mexico City is built on top of a lake. It was a small island in the middle of Lake Titicaca, and what the Aztecs did is they just kept bringing in dirt and they kept expanding the island. And these gardens that they're talking about, they actually created their grids. They're beautiful, and they're basically gridded islands, man-made islands. And there's no roads; it's all water.
Well, yeah, and I seen pictures when I was putting the story together, and it's like, yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're
lush and flowers
gorgeous.
And trees and.
When I was there, there was a little golden lab that would swim up to the gondolas and beg for food. But no, it was great, and I didn't know that we would be going by this island. It wasn't on our official itinerary. It was like we were just going to go spend a day out on the chinampas, and we started to get close, and you see these things hanging from the tree, and we're like, what is that? And we asked the guides that were with us, you know, and they just kind of look at us, and they take this very seriously. Like this is not a joke over there. I mean, the people are genuinely afraid of it, and they got very serious, and they told us, they're like, well, you don't, you know, that's a haunted place. You don't go there. There are spirits there, is what they kept saying. Spirits are there. Spirits are there, and you get closer and closer to it, and it is creepy.
I'll bet. Yeah.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it does. Just from the pictures.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
And these dolls, I mean, like you said, they're old, they're raggedy. I mean, and he would pull them out of the trash. I mean, so these were dolls that nobody wanted.
Yeah. Well, and dolls as a rule don't really scare me. You know, I mean, some people they do have just like clowns, they have a thing, but they don't scare me. But just like I said, the pictures are creepy looking.
Right.
You know?
And then to me, what's the most interesting part of the story is that these dolls started to be put up to appease one spirit of a little girl, but now the whole darn island's haunted. I mean, think about it. They were trying to appease one spirit, and now they're saying that at night these dolls come alive and whisper to each other and move their heads. And you know, and my guide said, and this was, I think this was 11 years ago that I went, so it's been a while. But I do remember my guides even telling us that they moved on their own. I mean, they were terrified of this island. The guides were telling us that they've seen these doll move. Now, I know, and I get it. How much of that are they selling? And how much is that genuine fear? But if that is true, like, they kind of failed. You go from one spirit to an island of spirit.
We need another road trip.
Oh, I would love to go back.
We need another road trip.
I'd love to go back.
You know, I've never actually been in Mexico City. I've been all around Mexico, but not in Mexico City. So this would be great.
I suffered some major culture shock the first day I was there.
Really?
I did.
I love Mexico.
I'm from a little town. I grew up in a town with less than 2,000 people. Less than 2,000 people. So Mexico City was like
a culture shock.
I got over it real fast, and then I enjoyed myself. But yeah, so that is a really amazing place. If anybody gets the chance to go check it out. And it's dirt cheap.
And I don't know that it's really well publicized. I've never heard of it before.
It's really not. Yeah. It's not something. Well, I think I can't tell you which ones, but I know that at least one of the popular ghost shows have been there.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember which one. I think
I think I did read something about that. I think I did.
I want to say it was Zach.
It could have been.
I don't remember.
I didn't watch the show, but I don't know that it's really well publicized.
Yeah, I don't think
the actual Island of the Dolls, La Isla de las Muñecas.
Yeah, and then the fact that they also, I'm not even going to try to say it. And then the fact that, you know, that you also have I know, you say it so well too. But that they have the see, now I can't even say that. La Llorona on the island too, which fits in perfectly because it's the same, you know, she's after the children, you got this child spirit. So it's, you got two legends.
Anywhere there's a waterway, there's always some kind of water.
Yeah.
There's a La Llorona.
Right.
So, I mean, she's everywhere.
It's inevitable that she was going to show up on the Island of the Dolls.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I got to talk about it finally.
I know,
I'm happy now.
I know. She's been anxious to get to this story. So, but we need a road trip.
Yes, we do.
A plane trip or something.
Yes.
Then our next story is, and we're kind of just doing this here real quick because it's not in the script, but it's something that's been trending on Facebook recently, and the video itself is very disturbing. It's very graphic. It's about a rat who's caught in a trap, and it was submitted by a man named Paul in, I believe it was Minnesota or Michigan. I'm not sure which one.
I don't remember.
And I'm not going to give his last name because I don't know that he wants his last name revealed, but we did clip it down to cut out the worst part of the graphic and to about 7 seconds. Now, we're going to show you the video in its original form, the original 7 seconds, and then we're going to slow it down over 3 successive video shots, and we're going to slow it down for each. And I want you to take a look and pay very close attention. Right after the rat twitches his ears for the last time.
And again, this is very graphic.
Very graphic.
This is a mouse caught in the trap, and kind of the point of the video is we're going to see this mouse die. So if that is going to bother you, then look away.
It may be disturbing for some viewers, but looking at it from a scientific and philosophical view, that's why we're playing it. And you'll see, I don't know, do you want to play it again, or do we just leave it like that?
Well, okay, well, let's talk about it for a second, then we'll play it again. So, first of all, the original video was about 40 or 50 seconds long.
50 seconds long.
Yeah, and it showed him. And apparently he videotaped it because this little mouse had been...
rat.
Or, sorry, yeah.
It was a rat.
Because there is a difference.
Yeah.
This rat had been running around in his garage for quite some time.
And I guess causing a lot of havoc.
Yeah. So he finally put out a rat trap and
some cheese.
For whatever reason decided to film it. That's what bothers me.
What bothers me too.
What kind of person films?
Well, what he did was, I guess he was working in the driveway on his nephew's bike, he said, and he put his iPhone, he was like phone camera, or camera phone, put it on a box and aimed it at the trap. that bothers me. Number
Yeah.
one, why would you do that?
Yep.
And did you expect that thing to stay there the whole time, overnight? I mean, you don't know when that rat was going to come out and grab that cheese.
Exactly.
So you would have been without your iPhone for however long.
Right.
So, that kind of bothers me.
Or, I mean, to me, the only thing that would be even somewhat logical, is still as twisted as it is you see the rat got caught, so you turn your camera on and you record it dying, which is still very morbid, and why would you do that? So I have the same issues you have.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
why are you even recording this in the first place?
we don't know how long the original video was. It could have been an hour.
Right.
But we don't. But
Right.
all you see is the rat take cheese, and then you take the cheese, and then in its death throes, and then when it's still, and all you see are the ears twitching, and then you see this thing leave the body.
Right. And that's the important part of this video. So if it is a real video, an unaltered video, you see at the moment of death, you see this light. I don't know how else to explain
Well,
it.
it looks like an orb. It looks like an orb.
It did.
A
It looked
blue
like
orb.
an orb moving. I hate the word orb, though.
I know. Sphere.
But
A blue sphere.
Yeah, it was a blue.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you see this. You see something leaving
Right.
the mouse or the
Right.
rat. I keep calling it a mouse.
My interest too is the color. We know that spirit orbs come in colors. Most common is the white, but we never understood what the colors meant before.
Right.
This may be an opening or a reason to explain. Maybe blue is the animals. Maybe white is human. Maybe who knows? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. But we never understood what the colors meant before.
Right.
And maybe this may be the start, if it is on the level.
And the colors could even be the background, the light, the type of light that was shining through sunlight versus artificial light.
And that's where I mostly explain them. There's some kind of a reflection when you take the flash. The flash is bouncing off of something that casts that blue tint to that insect or whatever it is that you're catching, and that's what makes that blue orb.
Right.
But yeah,
the real interesting thing about the video is that if you watch the full thing, you can go on YouTube and you can see the 40 or 50-second clip. But the mouse is twitching. It's kind of disturbing to watch. So the mouse is twitching for all this time, and it's the last twitch. I mean, it is. It's like there's one last twitch, and then it happens, and then this light, this orb, the spirit, whatever, is released from this rat. So that's the timing is great. But again, I still question the authenticity.
I do too, and I have
spit that out. I can't talk today.
And I have emailed him, but I haven't had a response.
Okay.
So I did email him, ask him, tell him that I did have some questions, and I was really anxious to talk to him. But again, he got his iPhone, he set it on a box, pointed it at the trap, and then while he finished working in the driveway on his nephew's bike. Now, obviously, it was daytime because you can tell by the video it's daytime. But we'll for those that want to look at the YouTube video, we'll put it on the screen, and then you can look at the whole clip, the whole 50-second clip.
And if he does get back to us, then we'll do an
we'll
update
do
in
an
the
update.
next show, or
Sure.
hopefully we'll hear from him. We'll see what happens. All right. Well, I think we got time for one more.
We got some mail. Want to do some mail? We got 8 minutes.
Okay. Let's do some mail.
All
okay.
Right. Okay, this from, and I hope I get this right. The lady's name is Mar Tangle in Erie, Pennsylvania. This came in a while back. She wants to know how much we charge. I did answer. I told her nothing, but I don't know what she meant. Whether she meant, do we charge, or I don't know. I don't know what she meant.
I don't know.
But I told her nothing.
Be more specific with your questions.
And Mar, if you're listening to the show, we don't charge anything, and we don't charge our guests. We don't charge our appearances anywhere else.
There's no charge for an investigation?
No.
No,
we don't charge anything. The next one we have is from Pam in Fresno, and she wants to know if this is my personal soapbox. I think she's referring to the intro to the show.
I think so,
too. And
when you're on your box.
I think she's referring to that. No, I carry that around with me all the time, Pam. I'm always on my soapbox.
Always.
Always. The next, Janet, Australia. She wants to know, she thanks us for a great show, keeps me interested and beginning to end. And then this next one, Anne she's in Merced. She has a group.
Oh, yes.
And she sent us an email saying that they had a small group in Merced there, and they're looking to add 1 or 2 investigators, and that anyone interested should contact her for further info and an interview. And it's spiritwatchers@yahoo.com. Their group is called orbseekers.org, and I will put on the screen for anybody that wants to contact her to talk to her and maybe perhaps get on a team.
Right, and again, that's in Merced.
Right,
yeah.
Merced. This from Jared. He loves the show. Thanks, Jared.
Thank you, Jared.
I think that's it for the mailbag.
Okay.
What about you?
No, I think that's it. Let's do some announcements then.
Okay.
Okay, so sad to say, StuCon was canceled this year. We were planning on going and filming an episode there. It was going to be awesome, but it got canceled.
Yes.
So maybe next year.
Maybe.
Maybe next year.
Maybe.
But that doesn't mean that there isn't a whole ton of conferences to go to. This is conference season. Benicia, California, and it is the largest Paracon in Northern California. It has 2 full days of international celebrity guests, ghost tours, vendors, and enthusiasts. It starts with a meet and greet on Saturday, and then the presentations and vendors all day and on Sunday, and of course investigations in the evening. Tickets are on sale now, so check out their website for further information. This is going to be bayareaparacon.com. And we also have one of the world's top experts in unidentified flying objects, Nick Pope, who is often called the real Fox Mulder. He will speak at the 2014 Border Zone International UFO Festival. Now, this one isn't until October, so you got lots of time to plan. It's the 24th through October 25th, and it's all happening in Presidio, Texas, in the mysterious Big Bend Chihuahuan Desert Corridor. So located near the UFO crash site from 1974, Mexico's Zone of Silence, the site where the Star Child skull was found, and many other mysterious places. This area of Texas has been called a paranormal lover's paradise. So for more information on this one, please go to ufoborderzone.com.
All right. A couple things I want to mention too before we get off. Our flowers, if I can get a close-up of the flowers that we get.
These are like the coolest things ever.
We're provided.
You might just need to hold them.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it. It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, just get a close-up of the flowers if you can real quick.
This is Karma Cats.
Karma Cat Floral and Gifts, and they're in Fresno at Shaw and Maroa. And aren't those cute? They're just so cute. Look at that.
I love them. I love them. Yeah. And the little, I don't know if you can really see the spiral thingies, but they're darling.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Cute.
And
they're really cute.
They've been providing us with our flowers for a few months now, and they're just absolutely amazing. And the owners are good friends.
Yeah.
Known them for years.
Terry and Fran Campbell. Yeah. Go by, say hello, and we're going to put their name and number up on the screen so you guys can call them for all your floral needs.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
All right.
All right, so is that it?
That's it.
Oh, we forgot to mention that we travel.
Yeah, we do travel. Not yet, but we do travel.
Just throwing that out there to the universe, you know? I mean,
really. We would love to do a show. If you have a function, we'd love to do a show out there for you. We have all kinds of things planned, and if you're interested, just give us a holler. See what happens.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think that just about wraps us up. To see what CCPI is up to, check out their website and their calendar at ccpifresno.org.
And we're open for investigations, lectures, like we do every year. This is the time I start scheduling for special events, fundraisers. And so if you're interested, just let us know.
Absolutely. And then to see what I'm up to, check out casadelcurandero.com. Always have new classes going on, Reiki, and a whole bunch of other things, so check it out. But that's about it for today. So we'll see you back for our next show when we talk about more paranormal topics on the last Wednesday of every month. Same channel, same time. We hope that you've enjoyed the show. We enjoy doing it for you guys. It's always fun.
We have fun.
If you have a question or comment, please contact us at paranormaljourneys1@gmail.com. And if you like what you've seen so far, go to our Facebook page and give us a like and give us a comment. We love to get feedback, so we'd love to hear from all of you.
And we have past episodes on there too, so if you're interested.
Yes, all of our past episodes are on our Facebook page. So that's it. On behalf of Jackie and myself, take care and be safe.
'Tis a bleak night, my lord. Look! The moon like a testicle hangs low in the sky.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Greetings, Hansi. Remember me, Mork from Ork? You once called me the Nutso from outer space.
Look at this thing. Look, Flipper.
Good morning, Vietnam!
He's found by the sailor man. He's found by the sailor man.
Who is that, Captain?
It's Peter Pan.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
Fossy, you do Martha Graham, or Twyla.
Oh, no, Joan. You are here without your parents. This is kidnapping. Now go, shoot.
Which one do you recommend, the Fujitsu or the Fuji?
Where's my mom and dad?
We don't know. This house has been empty for years. Everyone thought you were dead.
You don't know about real loss. Because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. Why can't we treat death with a certain amount of humanity and dignity and decency and, God forbid, maybe even humor?
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson. You hear me? Sit down. Sit down. This is your final